Welcome to another episode of Whiskey and We, episode 33. I'm your host, Terry, the one and only. And I apologize for the different sounding this episode. I'm actually recording outside of my home office, but I got to keep things moving. So, yeah, the sound is going to be a little bit lighter than my actual mic, but hopefully it's not anything too distracting. So, yeah, I hope you guys had another wonderful week. Got some shitty weather happening. Not here for it, but I'm not sick. I beat the cold. I beat the allergies, so I'm feeling fantastic, I must say. And I kind of don't mind weather like this when it's cloudy and rainy. Something about it, just a cup of coffee. I wish I could sit in more, but even on the go, something about it's just relaxing. But yeah, I hope y'all having a good week. Happy Pride. We still kicking it off. Countdown to the big Pride weekend at the end of this month. I honestly don't think I'm going to do anything. I have so much transitioning going on. Guys, I wish I could have been a part of the celebration, but I'm going to have to sit this one out again because just a lot going on, but I cannot complain at all. So very grateful. But I wish happy Pride to everyone still doing it and still celebrating. So a few announcements that I have this week. Okay. Unfortunately, guys, this is going to be sad to some. Whiskey and We we'll be taking a break starting July 5th until July 19th. So next week, I'm going to do, the episode for the end of the month. And then after that, I'm going to pull back for 3 weeks and I won't be returning until the 26th of July. So just putting it all out there. A lot going on. I've mentioned career transition. I'm also moving to a new area throughout the city. So just a lot happening. It's just that it's all happening in the month of July. So with me trying to navigate the new career and this new position, and also like trying to get everything coordinated for the move and what's going on. So just a lot, and I don't want to overwhelm myself. I still want to have some time to celebrate, take a step back, and enjoy it and enjoy summer. So I'm gonna have to just pause on Whiskey and We because I want to make sure that when I'm jumping into my episodes, I do want to deliver 100% motivation and engagement, and I don't want ever for it to come off as if I'm trying to rush it or just trying to get through it. So I care about you guys as listeners, and you're very much important. So I definitely want to make sure when I step to the mic, I do it the right way. So yeah, I'll be taking pull back. Don't miss me too much, but it'll fly by. And next thing you know, I'll be back on the mic doing my thing. So just to give y'all a heads up, next week will be the last episode, just until I come back the following month on the 26th. So with that, we can jump into What's the Whiskey Friend. So for What's the Whiskey Friend, look, it's going to be a very short episode because I don't want to really go over any pop culture this week. Taking a break from that, just wanted to kind of steer things into a different direction. I've already mentioned Happy Pride. I also want to mention this week Happy Juneteenth. This is something I mentioned last year. So for those who don't know, just a brief summary surrounding what Juneteenth means. Juneteenth, also known as Juneteenth, Independence Day or Freedom Day, an American holiday that commemorates the June 19th in 1865 announcement of abolition of slavery in the United States of Texas, and more generally, the emancipation of enslaved African Americans throughout the former Confederate States of America. So, big, big, big. Not talked about enough, but I'm so glad to have seen the people, that I do follow and that I do look up to, be it celebrities, be it friends, mention it and show their support and awareness of it. So we come a long way, and we definitely still have a much longer way to go, based off of like what you've seen and just the segregation of things. So, nonetheless, like I've said, it's definitely good to bring awareness to this and mention it. An interesting thing: there's a Georgia artist who kind of did their own doodle because Google always shows, like, they'll change their website and show, highlight certain holidays or certain whatever celebrations or something that's going on. They'll always change their Google logo when you go to the Google website, and they didn't do it this time for Juneteenth. So an artist went ahead and actually doodled their own kind of drawing, which is, man, powerful. Like, it shows the Google as if it's chains in between handcuffs, the chain links in between handcuffs, and on each end you have a black person's hands that are in the handcuffs breaking free. And when they break the chain, that's where you see like the Google being formed in the middle. Whew, tough and powerful, and I love it. So I'll definitely post that to the Instagram website. You guys go and check it out. But round of applause for that. I thought that was like just fascinating. I loved it. So one thing I forgot to mention, and Facebook had to remind me with everything going on, all the chaos and stuff. When Facebook, they'll post like, their memories, and sometimes, most of the time, it's shit you don't even want to see, because half of the time y'all don't even know the people that are in those pictures anymore. Y'all don't even talk to them anymore. So, Facebook would be like, oh yeah, 4 years ago or 2 years ago, with this person, you're like, shit, that's an ex or something that moved on from. Facebook don't need to remind you of that. They don't. They trying to be petty. But Facebook was good on this note by reminding me that a year ago is when I kicked off the Whiskey and We podcast. And it was June 8th is when the first episode premiered. So I completely forgot about it. And I'm just like, shit, I've been so caught up in everything. I saw the picture, and it was the original artwork of Chris and I when it was just us two. And I was like, wow, has it been a year already? I know I took a break, because I had to prepare for season 2 and finish up some things in school and everything. But damn, where has the year gone? The year has flew by. So this was the Whiskey Friend. I was just going to focus on that, the highlight of it being a year, and, looking back and reflecting on what has happened since then, and just how grateful and how much of a blessing it is to have had the opportunity to do this. So, I've mentioned before that I thought of doing a podcast like for the longest in my mind. I visualized it. I always daydreamed about it. It started really from when I was doing my last job, and I would always go to happy hour with my coworkers, and it was me and 2 other females, and we were so different. Like, we came from different walks of life. Like, me and my walk of life, being a gay man, being a gay black man, being a gay biracial man, growing up in the South, a different setting, having this type of experience. And then I had my 2 friends. One was more of a, I loved her. She was more of a punk rock, gothic type, who also had a different walk of life and a different vision and a different pair of eyes on how she views the world. And then we had my other coworker, who was a good friend, who, has a Guyanese background and just a different setting. And it was just so interesting how we always came together after work to talk about, our relationships and our careers and our goals. And it was just such good conversation that we, at the moment, being drunk and tipsy and shit, felt that, if we did have a podcast, it would be bomb as fuck. And we started coming up with these ideas of, like, what if we could do podcasts? What if we can do a podcast where we go to the bars and we just do the show at the bar? It's like a mobile podcast, and then we talk about like what we're drinking. We also promote the vendors themselves, like the bars that we're going to, and with that, in return, we're able to sit here and we're able to discuss like where we are and then talk about our relationships and everything. We just really had some good content of communication and just things that I always look back now and I cherish. Like, wow, those are some good moments looking back that I reflected on. And then I started thinking like, oh shit. Once I really got into podcasts and understanding the technicalities of things, I was like, oh shit, that wouldn't even be able to work because it would be so goddamn loud. You wouldn't even be able to hear me, the two co-hosts. You wouldn't be able to hear anything because it would just be too much unless we had invested more money, more profits into like equipment, high quality equipment. But ain't nobody got time for that. We were just shooting the shit and having a good time, and it was just such good conversations that we felt other people should hear this and join in. So unfortunately, it wasn't able to work because then careers parted and I started moving on with my career. But I still retain the idea of like the vision and the passion of I want to do a podcast. And from there, my conversations with people throughout my career and my personal life just started to get more and more in depth and more intuitive and just more and more like marinated in like passionate things and goals that I felt, wow, a lot of conversations that I'm having now with people is just so relatable to what a lot of people are going through. I feel like I need to bring this to a platform where other people can hear this and join in. It's just such good conversation. I feel like we don't have enough of that because we're too busy. We get caught up in the harshness of life and how we're trying to just get the next accomplishment going, and we focus on what we don't have, and a lot of people are just going through miserable times where they're just in this cloud of negativity. So I wanted to translate my conversations with all the people that I've come across into the podcast. So, I kept the vision alive, I kept the fire alive, and the only thing was that I just retained it in my mind. And I've always read that you can always visualize it, but you have to eventually kind of put pen to paper. You have to kind of start doing the physical work to kind of make it happen. Like if you just keep it in your mind, you end up losing it or you never get around to doing it. So you always have to put the next step forward in trying to physically make it happen. Be it just journal it, be it start taking notes or just even doing research. So I always kept it in my mind, and years was going by, months was going by, days was going by, and it was just in the back burner. And then I think, coming across my conversation with Chris when we went out to brunch, and I was just really on it at that point. I felt that I had overcame a lot of personal struggles. There's only so many times I can mention it. Just my background with anxiety, my background with depression. I think at the time when I was still kind of going through it, but I felt that I was coming to a close where I was able to come up for air. That's when I started thinking like, okay, I think I'm getting ready to want to do a podcast and to be more vocal, but I knew I wasn't there yet. But when I sat down with Chris last year and we went to a nice brunch place in Harlem, sat down, I was like, I'm there. Like I'm a lot more confident in myself, and I'm really now putting a lot of thought into this podcast. And he was definitely all on board. And from there, it was like, okay, I want to make sure this happens. Now I'm ready to put the pen to paper. Now I'm ready to put in the footwork to really manifest this vision and this passion that I've been having for years at this point. So yeah, I started doing the research and I started learning what I could. And I just, I had a few bumps and I overcame it. I learned from it and just improved on it. So the crazy thing about doing this show, a lot of one point that I want to make to everybody is that you don't have to know too much. You just kind of have to have the drive and the willingness to learn. And one of the big inspirations for me really came from my brother because I can't not mention him enough. Like it's just he's such a big inspiration because he is a professional photographer in my eyes. I think the kid is amazing. If you guys haven't, you need to check out his Instagram. I think it's Neumads, Neuxmads. That's how we spell new or no in New Orleans. I don't know. Don't judge me. I forgot. But yeah, my brother, we started doing our entrepreneur when we wanted to do a clothing line back in the day, and I invested into getting, the equipment and everything to get this going. I remember I made bracelets, and this was something I was going to kick off, but I think at the time we were looking more for a change overnight than the investment of hard work. And that's what I realized with age and growing up is that you have to put in a lot more money and hard work before you start to see a return, a positive return. If you want to, start your own business or be an entrepreneur, you kind of have to understand that that whole saying it'll get worse before it gets better, like there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. The same with this podcast. I understood coming into it I wasn't going to make money from this, at least not now. I just knew that, in order to get there, I'm going to have to put in a lot of hard work and a lot of commitment. But at the end of the day, I have to enjoy it, and that's what I get from this. I enjoy just being, vocal about my opinions and hopefully reaching to my listeners in a way that's, something they're not used to hearing and touching them in a certain way mentally and spiritually. So that's my goal, and that's what has kept me going and committed to doing this. Is not necessarily about the money or anything. It's about just doing this. It feels good. It feels right to do this, and I feel proud. So going back, my brother got into photography, taught himself everything. We are in a day and age where technology and all the resources we have through internet, through laptops and our phones and everything, it's there. Like you don't even have to go to school for certain things. Obviously, if you want to be a doctor, you need to get your ass in school because you ain't about to cut someone open without no proper education. But my brother, he wanted it. He wanted this so bad that he taught himself. And where he's at now versus like when he started, I am blown away by his craftsmanship, by his artistry and his passion. Like definitely check out his Instagram. It's he's come a long way, and he's just highly motivated me to realize that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to know 100% before you start. You just need to kind of start. You got to have an idea, and you just got to go with it. And you got to have that fire and that passion behind it. And that's what pushed me really to getting this podcast going. I didn't know shit. I didn't know shit. I didn't know from which mic to buy to how this GarageBand works to sounding. And every day I'm getting better. Every day I'm tweaking and I'm investing and researching into like, okay, how could I get a better mic? And I don't know if y'all noticed, but from last season to this season, I was able to transition into a better mic, a better sounding mic, because I started to understand, okay, this is the difference. This is what I'm looking for. And I started tweaking with the compressors and the EQs on GarageBand, making, trying to eliminate as much background noise as I could. So it's a lot of hard work. But if you have that passion and you have that drive behind it, you can accomplish anything. And I know it's like, it's not some fortune cookie bullshit talk, but you really have to believe it and you really have to see it. Like, you have to see it in your mind, and you really have to start to, once you visualize it all the way down to the T, to how it looks exactly day by day, minute by minute, then you can start to go to the physical qualities and actually start to put in the hard work and manifesting it. And yeah, like this episode is really just to kind of go back on, how I've gotten here, and how, if you're struggling with trying to reach a goal, that you don't need to doubt yourself. You don't have to downplay yourself, thinking that you don't know enough and you feel like a fraud, and you have this imposter syndrome where you think you're not worthy. Like, you're worthy. If you believe it, you can definitely attain it, and you don't have to have a high IQ for all this. So yeah, like this is my inspiration for that. I'm very grateful for where it's at now. Like I said, just blessings. Blessings on top of blessings. I have such a strong support system from friends, from colleagues, from family. Like it's so overwhelming how supported and backed up I am by these people. Like I feel the love, and I'm in awe sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, damn, like that. Who me? Nah, man, nah. Like I try to definitely remain humble that I forget sometimes like how I'm impacting people just by sitting here expressing what's on my mind or my daily thoughts and my opinions and everything and my past struggles and my current struggles. So yeah, I want to eventually take the show in a new direction. I think I want to focus more on the mental health aspect of things, and I want to start being that support system for people who do listen to the show. So it's the pop culture, it's fun, and I think it's very that much entertaining. But if I had to envision where I was going down the line, I think I would eventually take the show to the next level of just focusing on the mental health and the psychology of things. So I want to be able to help people. I want to use my struggle as a strength to help people to overcome, because it took a lot for me to overcome the struggles that I was going through, but kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel has provided me a sense of like, okay, this can happen. Like you can overcome it. And I broke through the illusions of what my mind was telling me, good and bad. Like, bad being that I may never get out of this, that something's wrong with me. And I can definitely identify and relate to the struggle of how people it's so hard to break that cycle of that mindset where you feel like you're not good enough. So my goal is to definitely bring awareness to that and try to help people see things from a different light and try to break through those negative cycles and negative systems that they have going on up in their head to pretty much empower themselves and become a stronger person than they was yesterday. So, yeah, that's where I plan on going. It's been a great year. It's going to be many years to come. It's a blessing, man. And you got to count your blessings and see how far you've come. Not so much how far you have like ahead, but kind of stay in the present moment. Look at what's happening now, and I try to be conscious of that. You gotta stop and take a moment and be like, "Damn, look how far I came!" Like, big pat on the back. Just I did it. Like I've come this far, and I'm gonna continue to set goals. You gotta continue setting goals and continue working towards just advancing in yourself and elevating yourself. So yeah, extremely grateful. I can't say it enough how grateful I am that, I have you all as listeners. I have you all tuning in every Friday, and I even get shit if I'm like a minute late, or I got shit for just taking that break before season 2. So I appreciate that though. Like it makes me feel loved. It makes me feel supported and wanted, and just a very good feeling. So you guys are very, very much appreciated. So I want to take a break. That's it for What's the Whiskey. I'm just like no pop culture this week. It's going to be a whole episode of keeping it real. And speaking of that, we can take a break and we can jump into keeping it real when we get back. All right, and we are back. So the whiskey I'm sipping on this evening is Crown Royal Apple. It's like my staple whiskey. And I mean, I have a whole pantry of liquor, but I've just been kind of tuning into that Crown Royal Apple. Not a lot of people I think, apple whiskey. I like it. It's the bomb for me. Like, I enjoy it. Sometimes I'll drink it on the rocks. This time I put a splash of Sprite in it. So, refreshing. Very much good. If you guys haven't tried it, tried it. But a lot of people don't like it. I don't know. It's good for me. On the rocks or with a splash of something, I enjoy it. So, keeping it real. What I have for y'all this week for keeping it real, I'm gonna keep it on the mental therapy topic of this show, the mental therapy vibe that's going on right now, I want to propose a question. Have you stepped outside of your comfort zone? So when I say when I ask, actually, have you stepped outside of your comfort zone? Going back to goal setting, going back to elevating yourself. A lot of people don't realize that you have to kind of get your feet dirty, you kind of got to get your hands dirty before you can get to that finish line. So, in my just in my life, I guess, and keeping it personal, I've had to make a lot of changes, and with those changes, I came the rush of like the anxiety and the adrenaline of like, oh my gosh, I'm not used to this. The fear of the unknown is what can hold a lot of people back, myself included, because we get so caught up in our comfort zones. We get so caught up in the daily routines. From the moment we wake up, typically you have a routine, be it you wake up, gym, coffee, work, I don't know, happy hour, home, repeat. Sleep, wake up, repeat. So we get so caught up in our comfort zones a lot that, half the time we don't even realize it, that we're basically on a robotic routine. And when it comes to making changes, a lot of people will have this sense, this yearning to just want something different. Like myself, like just, you eventually get to a point where you're like, something's off. I just feel like I need more. Be it, I need more out of a relationship. I need more out of my job. I need more out of where I live, and so on and so on. But we are afraid to make those changes. We are afraid to step outside that relationship if we feel it's not necessarily good for us because we have allowed ourselves to be soaked up in a comfort zone. It's what we're used to. It's a safety mechanism with our career. Yeah, like I've come across a lot of people where when you stick with the job for so long, you get used to it. It becomes routine to the point where if you're miserable, you're less likely to make a big jump because you don't see a safety net on the other end. And let me tell you, my last job, I was only with them for 2 years. My job before that, I was with them for almost 10 years. And I didn't even grow as much because I was dealing with my own personal goals and everything. I didn't grow as much and as quickly as I wanted to grow. But when I finally reached that peak and I wasn't getting what I wanted within that 10-year job, I had to go. Now, when I came into the last job, I was very determined and I was very transparent with them, with any manager, with any supervisor from the get go. Look, this is where I'm going. So I need you to understand that I will put in the hard work, but I can't put in a lot of time. And I understand you got to put in some time with some companies and some goals and everything, especially if it's a personal entrepreneur goal or something you're starting from scratch doing on your own, then yeah, invest your time, because that's your time that you're investing in something that you're highly passionate about. But these corporate jobs and everything, I told them from the get go, look, I got to keep it moving. I'm now 30, and I think maybe once I turn 30 is when it really kind of just sparked where I'm like, okay, I am older. I'm not miserable. I'm happy. I'm in my 30s now, but I need to be far ahead. I can't play games now. I can't hold back. So I had many conversations like this is where I need to go, and I'm not going to be here for long if I'm not getting that. And they thought it was a game because I put in the hard work and I was valued as a great employee. But I felt like I was also getting empty promises. Oh, you're going to get this. Oh, just be patient. Patient? I was told that word so much during the 2 years. Just be patient. Just be patient. But sometimes it's like, it's your time. You have a right to take ownership of your time. So I couldn't be patient anymore. I said, I'm ready now. And unfortunately, I had to leave. But I know people and I've met people that have been there for so long and have been in jobs for so long and they're not happy. They're miserable. And you never want it to get to a point where it affects your energy, where it affects your mood and your vibes, because then it's going to affect kind of everything else in your life, be it your friendships, your family, just and your personal health, like your personal health, physical and mental. So you people will stay in these jobs and just, I guess, soak in it in a way, because having to leave the job that they're so comfortable with, like, they know the people there, they know the atmosphere, the environment, having to leave, the thought of leaving that to try something new that they could possibly fail in scares a lot of people. So they stay within their comfort zone and they kind of miss out. You miss out on life, you miss out on taking a chance. And with me, I had to step outside my comfort zone. I had to say enough. I have to take the chance now before I get too comfortable to where it becomes a part of my routine. And I'm just here. Next thing you know, in the blink of an eye, 4 more years went by. And I'm here like almost 10 years. It's like, absolutely not. You have to step out your comfort zone. You're trying to do fitness. You got to step out your comfort zone. You got to try something new. And it's going to be tough and it's going to be painful. But that you got to focus on that end result. Now, end result is what's going to keep you going and keep the fire under your ass. So be it comes to relationships, whether it comes to careers, you sometimes just have to take the leap and you have to have a lot of faith and you got to have a lot of hope and knowing that your security will be good. Obviously, you want to plan and you want to be smart about it, but you don't want to be reckless just making decisions and going blindly on everything. But if your well being is at stake, that should already tell you that it's time to move on. And you're not going to know what's ahead of you every single time. You're not going to know, be able to see the 5 steps ahead of you. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I had to get out. So, have you stepped outside your comfort zone today? Have you done something that you normally don't do? Just to kind of get your brain reacting in a different way, getting some neurons and everything connecting differently. Have you tried something different? And I think it's good to always want to, try something different, be it every day or every month. Try something new to kind of switch things up in your life. Hey, I'm looking into taking sword fighting classes. That's how serious I am about this shit. I don't mind. I saw it and I was like, you know what? I never took sword fighting classes. That shit would be dope. Even fencing, or what I was looking at was some taekwondo shit, or, Kill Bill swords. But even fencing, I was like, that would be some dope shit to say I took a class like that and learned that. Trying to learn a new language. I could barely speak my language, but I'm going to still try. So, yes, have you stepped outside your comfort zone? It's something to think about, to kind of be aware of, like, has your life turned into a routine life? If you want change so much, getting on Facebook and posting a status just isn't enough because nobody's going to do it for you. You have to make the change yourself. So you got to take that risk. You got to step outside your comfort zone. You got to try something new. You got to, a motto that I like to live by a lot is feel the fear and do it anyway. You're going to feel the fear. Like, we don't know oh man, what if this doesn't go well? What if it turns out like this? What if I embarrass myself? Well, we'll see, but you got to try. Like, I think you'll regret more not trying at all than trying and maybe stumbling a little bit because you'll learn from that and you'll progress in the future. But not trying at all is just such a sour feeling that I felt personally. Like, damn, just disappointing in myself, just not even trying at all. So try something new, people. Step outside your comfort zone, get out, do something. You don't talk to a lot of people, try to make conversation with someone. Try a new activity. Like I said, try a new language. Go to a new destination, try new food. The list goes on and on. Just try not to get caught up in the routine, robotic life, especially if you're unhappy. All right, that's my keeping it real. So, what we can jump into lastly, we can jump into me versus the media. All right, so me, I'm already laughing at the topic that I'm about to talk about because I know a lot of people gonna hate me for this shit because I see it all the time. Um, Me versus the media. I'm gonna keep it very quick, but I want to talk about people that be taking pictures in the fitting rooms. knowing damn well you ain't buying those clothes. Just, I see it so much. And like I said, it's all fun and games, but I see a lot of people on my Facebook and my Instagram posting pictures down in the fitting room. New outfit, who this, just going out, feeling good, knowing damn well you leaving those clothes there. You putting your clothes back on and you taking your ass somewhere else. You ain't even buying that shit. I just think it's funny because I don't know if I did that once or felt enticed to do it when I went to an H&M years ago and I tried on a pair of jeans. I can't remember. Yeah, I think I tried on a pair of jeans and I had my Timbs. It was cold that time, but I needed a new pair of jeans. And I really did like the way these jeans fit. But then, something about that fitting room. I ain't gonna lie. The fitting room lights, the music, the infinity mirrors just makes your body look good. Just makes you feel good. Like at the shadows, and I mean, it just hits at the right moment. So I remember I took a few pictures. I don't think I ever posted it, but I took a few pictures. Did I get those jeans? Hell no, I didn't get those jeans. Like I was like, I think I'll wait. I got enough jeans. I was like, you know what? I got like 15 pair of jeans. I think this is more of just a shopaholic type mindset. I don't really need those jeans. But they look good in the moment, especially with the shoes I was wearing and just being shirtless. And I was like, damn, let me take a few pictures while I'm in here. Meanwhile, I'm probably making H&M lose sales because people waiting long as hell to try on clothes that they actually want to get. And I'm in the fitting room spending 15 minutes with one pair of jeans. So I see a lot of people that be doing shit like that. And don't lie, y'all. Y'all know y'all don't get those clothes. Y'all know, y'all return that shit. Y'all try them on and y'all hurry up and get an Instagram picture in a new outfit that you don't even own. I know who y'all are. And then you got some who just go butt ass naked in underwear and will take a picture in the fitting room. And I'm like, you got those people waiting out there. You ain't even getting that shit. You just going to use the mirrors and soak it up because you know they got good lighting and shit. Like, it's crazy. It's funny though. Like, I definitely wanted to talk about that one. Like I said, y'all don't hate me. If you do it, much power to you. But you know you ain't buying those clothes. You cheap ass bitch. Like, cut it out. Nah. All jokes aside, yeah, it's funny. And like I said, I'm guilty of doing that once in my life, but I see so much of it, and that's the first thing that comes to mind every time I see it. Like, I wonder if they buying those clothes, cause there ain't nothing like a nice fitting room selfie, or a close up of that body and all those angles and everything. So y'all keep doing y'all thing, but in order to keep doing that and making sure a business runs, try at least get the pair of socks or the shirt or whatever. It's H&M. They ain't that expensive. Or if you guys are, they're not even that pricey. So try to at least give back to the company that you're stealing their space and real estate from for your time. So that wraps up me versus the media. And oh man, that was funny. I couldn't wait to talk about that one because that's a very common one that I see a lot. That wraps it up. That wraps up another episode of Whiskey and We, episode 33. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the twist on this episode, and I hope you were able to I was able to provide a good voice and give you guys a good listen. So definitely check out the IG, Whiskey and We. Definitely check out the Twitter. You can also stream the episodes on YouTube, just the audio version. So definitely check us. I said us. Like, it's more than one person. It's just me, nigga. Definitely check me out. Check out the episodes on YouTube, Whiskey and We. Also, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out. whiskeyandwe@gmail.com. I love the feedback. I love the support. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment, rate on iTunes. Really, really appreciate it. So, yeah, that's it. Next week is going to be the last one before the break, but I hope you guys have a good weekend. We still kicking off Pride Month, like I said, so be safe, be around your loved ones, don't leave, don't stray off anywhere, don't go to the Dominican Republic now, and don't drink from the mini bars. So I'll see you guys next week.